Hey guys, I'm your tour guide Kalltorak, and today I'm bringing you an endgame update for my Bulletstorm Witch Hunter. Alright, so this build has been pushed a lot further. I mean, this is the furthest I've progressed a build in Path of Exile 2 yet in terms of currency investment. The cool thing about this build is it's one of those builds where it starts cheap, and then as you get into it more, you can just invest more and more currency into it to scale it up as far as you want. And yeah, I just want to open this with the cool weapon setup technique that I'm doing that makes just managing your ammo types easier. So right now, as you can see here, on my left mouse button, I have armor-piercing rounds. And this never changes for my setup. I can always have this bound, and you can see here with right click, I have high velocity rounds right now. When I hit right click and left click, I can instantly swap between the two of them without having to load ammo. This is a massive quality of life win for this setup. Because before it was shoot armor piercing rounds, and then you have to click high velocity rounds, and then click to shoot again. But now you don't have to load ammo near as much, and you can leave armor-piercing rounds just permanently loaded. So your main attack that you're using 99% of the time for mapping, sanctum, whatever, is always bound to one attack skill. For me, it's left-click. So how do you do this? Well, you need to go to your weapon. If you only have one crossbow, you do it this way. You have to right-click right here to lock it. This will put your weapon into both weapon sets. So you have weapon set 1 and 2. And then by doing that, it gives you access to 2 different crossbow shots. You have a crossbow shot for weapon set 1 and a crossbow shot for weapon set 2. So, for weapon set 1, I have armor piercing round set. And then I bind crossbow shot 1 to, like I guess in my situation, left mouse click. So, no matter what, left mouse click is always going to shoot armor piercing rounds, and I never have to reload left mouse click with a new ammo type. And then with high velocity rounds, as well as plasma blast, as well as fragmentation rounds, they are all set to weapon set 2. Now you do still have to do ammo swaps for your second shot, which is my right click, but it is still a huge quality of life win, just never having to get off of armor piercing rounds. So you still have to reload these ammos on your second gun or your second shot, but no matter what, armor piercing rounds is just constantly shooting. And why this is huge is like when you're mapping, sometimes you get the tankier rares that just don't instantly die. So when you're doing this, and then suddenly, let's just say this lady here is Zelina is a rare, I just instantly right click and I start high velocity rounds and she's dead. And then there's no more ammo loading while mapping. The only time you have to ammo load now is on bossing, because we are using a 3 ammo setup now to help with single target. And that's where I want to talk about next is the new single target setup. We are using a 3 or 4 ammo setup now. I am avoiding grenades completely still. We have succeeded at doing that. Now, bossing is not fully solved to the point where, I know some of you are only ever looking to one-shot the hardest difficult bosses. We're not at that. It takes me about 30 to 45 seconds to kill Tier 3 Zet, but I have cleared Tier 3 Simulacrum, and I have cleared Tier 3 Zets. It's still a little bit dicey, and of course I've spent decent amount of currency on this character, so the fact that I've spent this much currency on this character, and it's that slow, it tells you that it's not the best bossing build. It's gotten a lot better. I've killed tier 3 Zets. That's great, and I'm excited to be playing this build when 0.3.1 comes out with all the new mapping and bossing changes coming. So I think it's still going to be good for that, but if you're only satisfied with one-shotting bosses, and map bosses, they're really fast, you know, even Delirium Juice maps, they're like 20 to 30 second fights, but tier 3 Zets can be a little bit of a longer fight because of all the chaos in it and stuff, so yeah, the bossing is better. But yeah, let's talk about the rotation. So we have added Plasma Blast. You are going to be opening your fights with this. Plasma Blast is mainly for giving us shock. So if you look into the support gems, I have Shock, Lightning Penetration, Lightning Exposure, Overcharge, and Potent Exposure. This gives us a 45% shock on the boss we're killing, which is 45% more damage. So you're going to open every fight with this, and then you're going to immediately Armor Break after. And I have this rotation in the Mobilytic. So it's Plasma Blast, then you're going to Armor Break. Once Armor breaks up, you're going to swap the High Vol Slayer round. This puts up Riven Armor. And then you're going to swap the Fragmentation rounds. And as you'll see in the clips, when you consume Armor Break, when you have Shard Scavenger, it makes you basically get free reloads for a short period of time. And that makes this Fragmentation round just chunk bosses. So usually in my opener, I can get like tier 3 Jets to below half just by doing that combo. Which is really, really nice. And it's helped the DPS a lot. I mean, as you can see, I am just dominating all of the Sanctum bosses. Okay, and this is how you get the Companion Frozen Mandible. So you're going to want to go to Interlude Act 3, and you're going to head over to the Ashen Forest. And you're going to run around the Ashen Forest until you find this checkpoint. And at this checkpoint, you will find this guy. Frozen Mandibles. Oh, he actually has Hinder Aura. We don't want Hinder Aura. We want Haste Aura. But this is where he's at. He spawns at this checkpoint, and if you just mouse over him, you'll see that, well, I'll let him dive to Wind Dancer, unfortunately, so he won't respawn, but this is good, so I can show this. But whenever you find him, if he doesn't have the aura you want to respawn at checkpoint. And then if he hasn't died, which I just unfortunately killed him for the clip, he should respawn right here. And then you just spam do this until you see the Haste Aura. Hopefully you have better load screens than me. The optimization patch, I hope in the optimization they're coming with 0.3.1, I hope it helps with my load screens. But yeah, you would just step forward here and he would reburrow out of the ground. Now, unfortunately, I've killed him, so he's not coming back. So what do you do if you've done that? Well, if you've accidentally killed him and you still want to get him, you have to go to town, and then you're going to have to reset the instance. So I'll show you how to do that just in case. And also make sure you have the skill Tame Beast. It is a spear skill. Yeah, Tame Beast. So you'll need to use Tame Beast on him. But if you accidentally kill him, you come up here, you control click it, and then you hit new. And then he will be back. So you obviously don't want to kill him if you're trying to farm him. You're just going to spam respawn at checkpoint. He'll keep respawning, and then eventually when he's got the haste aura you want, you cast Tame Beast on him, and then you kill him, and he'll be yours. So let's talk about my jewels real quick, because I have changed them up. So I did get a slightly better Heart of the Well. I got 27% increased Culling Strike threshold. I also got attack speed on it, so that was a lucky little grab there. I have also changed my Megalomaniac to Material Solidification and Efficient Reloading. I don't remember if this was actually in the last video or not. And then this is important here. A Time Lost Emerald with % increase effect of notable skills in radius. This gives a 25% increased effect to the notables, and that is impacting escape velocity, which is okay, evasion, freedom of movement, which is okay, but the main one it is for is catalysis. I can't read. And it gives you 1% extra of physical damage from hits taken as a random elemental element. This is actually a really good, like, defensive buff. I know it's just 1%, but it's a nice chunk, especially when you're considering how much physical to elemental we're taking. It just adds up. So I figured just slot this in here. It's also giving me 1% attack speed per notable passive, and then 1% attack speed per small skill passive. And this is a decent spot for that. Now, let's talk about the From Nothing. So I still have a From Nothing from Iron Link Flexes, but if you look at the guide, I have a Sanctum Farmer section for it. And inside that guide, you swap out the From Nothing for Iron Reflexes for a From Nothing for Vow Pact. It lets you get the movement speed nodes here, and then you will not anoint momentum anymore. I have all of that in the written guide, so make sure you go check it out. But this build excels so greatly at Trial of Secamus. I can clear 3 per hour right now. My fastest run was like a little over 15 minutes, but on average we're around the 20 to 22 minute mark, depending on like what afflictions I get. And this build just absolutely dominates Secamus. Like I've gotten the worst affliction runs possible, and it's still a very easy clear. The bosses to this point, like even though I don't have the best tier 3 boss damage for Secamus, even the hardest version of Secamus, this is plenty of damage. Even when you have the damage nerfs and stuff, I mean, this is just great. Trial of Secamus is really good, consistent money right now when you have the right setup. I'll be linking to a Dead Rabbit video in the description of how to make currency in Trial of Secamus, but I highly, highly recommend that you farm this. Like, if this build specializes at anything, it is a Sanctum farmer. And if you want to lean into anything to just make as much currency as a farmer, you can lean purely into just move speed, relic drop chance, and just farming Secamus all day. I've made over 100 divines in less than a week on this character. Like, I have made insane currency farming Secamus, so I highly recommend that. For Delirium and, you know, inside maps, Culling Strike does pretty well versus Delirium. Again, versus Tier 3 Simulacrum, it gets a little bit hairy in the final waves. It just depends on which modifiers we have. Now, I am now running Headhunter. I do want to talk about the elephant in the room. I cleared all Tier 3 content without Headhunter. So this is not required. I just recently got this for 0.3.1 because, again, we have the new mapping patch coming out, and I want to just be able to blast mapping, and I figured, yeah, why not have Headhunter for it? So I do also have a Headhunter tab in the Mobalytics as well. This is purely going to be for like the mapping setup. You know, we have the new mapping changes coming, and I really want to explore the Atlas and go Citadel hunting once we have the patch. So the Headhunter setup is going to be great for that. But that is obviously a super budget item. You know, it's 30-something divines right now, so it's not super realistic for most people to get. It is not needed at all. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. But it does feel great when you're mapping. So if you do want to get a Headhunter, it does feel wonderful. And the last thing I want to talk about from the Moblix, I have a third tab for a well-rounded tanky build. This is sort of, this is what you want if you are playing, Thorns. Or not, excuse me, Thorns, Jesus, you know, we got brain rot at this point from so much Thorns. If you're playing this build and you want it to be a well-rounder, you want to be able to do juice tier 16 maps and not die. So I have these boots and this belt that I swap out for whenever I am not spamming Secamus or not spamming fast maps. These boots with 100% increased socket effect with maximum lightning res, Soul Core of Zopex. Ideally, you want to get a 3 socket. Max lightning res is the most important stat defensively for us. I cannot begin to tell you how important lightning coil is. The higher you can get your max lightning res, the more tanky you're going to be in these maps with the abyss modifiers and stuff. It's just so much physical damage, and this is like a huge layer for defenses. Yeah, you just want to get max lightning res, so I really recommend just getting boots with more max lightning res. The higher your max lightning res, if you can get this up to 85%, you are going to be ungodly tanky. As you can see in this setup, I'm sitting at 3747 sorcery ward, I'm elemental res capped, I'm chaos res capped, and so much of this damage is being converted to physical damage from lightning, which damage conversions are huge. And you can also get something like, get a jewel with physical damage, or damage converted from life loss to mana loss, and that helps a lot with the survivability as well. I've seen some witch hunters that are just juice with lightning res and some a little bit of a damage taken before mana, and they are pretty unkillable. So this is the more tankier, well-rounded setup, and it feels pretty good. Again, this is the setup I use most of the time when I'm mapping. I literally just bought this Headhunter last night. I've only done like 2 maps with it, so I know you're gonna see this and be like, oh, I can't play this build because of Headhunter. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. I've done 2 maps with this. I literally just got this. It is not needed. This crossbow was 6 divine, and it has what I've cleared all tier 3 content with. 6 divine. And to start farming Secamus, you do not need a 6 divine bow, a crossbow. I know for some of you 6 divine seems like a lot, but when you're doing Secamus, you get a lot of currency. 6 Divine in an hour to 2 hours is very reasonable when you're farming Trial Secamus, even with a budget setup. So, don't panic thinking this is a super expensive crossbow you won't ever get. Once you start farming Sanctum, you're going to make really good money. This crossbow, it has carried me since I bought it, purchased it. It has cleared me all tier 3 content. What's important about it that my old one didn't have is leeches physical damages mana. I was starting to have mana problems on bosses. You need some form of leeches percent of physical damages mana someplace, whether it's on rings or your weapon. Ideally on a ring because you want your weapon to have as much damage as possible, but you just have to get some form of leech as additional physical damage. And yeah, I believe that is everything. You know, this is a really good build overall. It has cleared me all of the content. Tier 16 maps can be a little bit hairy. Bossing the hardest bosses, you're talking about tier 16 Juice Delirium maps. Those bosses can take anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds, and they are one-shot prone. If you make a misplay, you're gonna die. So if you're looking for a build that just absolutely dumpsters on everything, this build dumpsters on most things. It's just not. If you want to one-shot bosses, you have to mix grenades, I'm afraid. These crossbow shots are just not scaled up enough for pure single target yet. With the combination, I'm still maintaining the bullet storm. It feels really good, but yeah, we're just a little bit short from that, you know, glorious one-shot territory that everyone wants. But, I mean, I'm happy with 30 to 45-second boss fights for Tier 3 sets. I'm happy with the results of this build. I mean, and again, it's like not every build has to be like this perfect, well-rounded build. If this build was just a Trial of Secamus farmer, I mean, I've made 100 Divine in the last week just farming it. So, not even in a week. It hasn't even been a full week since I started playing this character. And I've made well over 100 Divine there. And look at this. This is going to piss so many people off. I'm not even selling jewels. Think of how many Divine are in these jewels right now that I just, like, haven't gone through yet. Like, look how many time lost are here. Some of these could be jackpots. Sapphires. Like, who knows what these are worth. And I've been making all of my currency from Sanctum off of relics and just raw Divine drops and stuff. Raw and null drops. Like, it's just so much currency. So, you know, if you don't like Sanctum and you haven't played a build that specializes in Sanctum, doing Sanctum, it's a great fun. It's a really good time. Like I said, I can do them in almost 15 minutes right now, and I haven't even like leaned into a full Secamus farming setup. I don't have the Valpack rune yet. I do have it set up on the Mobalytics, but if you had the Valpack rune, you got this additional movement speed stuff here, and then you ran Darkness and Throne, which I'd have on the Mobalytics with increased movement speed in your belt, and then you had increased movement speed runes in your boots. You're talking about pushing 200% movement speed in Sanctum, and you're going to be doing 15-minute clears very consistently. It is so, yeah, it's just so clean. So yeah, I don't know, I love the build. I could very likely see me playing this every patch. I'm in love with it. I love the Culling Strike theme of it. I've always been a big fan of Witch Hunter. Going into this patch, I had Witch Hunter as one of the best ascendancies in the game. I've never slept on Witch Hunter. I've always like just admired like the power of the weapon swaps or the weapon master, and then just Sorcery Ward has been cracked since 0.2. Like, people have shown some pretty insane techniques with it. So yeah, like, I could see me like league starting Thorns Druid next patch, but then like within week 1, I make this my second character as a currency farmer, because like, yeah, I just absolutely love this character. And yeah, based off the comments, other people are as well. The leveling is going for you guys. I hope you guys like this update, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments down below. Cheers. Okay, and I figured some people would want to see what the Headhunter gameplay looks like, so here we go. Let's do a map with Headhunter. Oh, let me get my companion out. As you can see, things are dying. This is a juiced Waystone 15, not 16. Doesn't have Dell because I crash when I play Dell maps right now. Hopefully this next patch fixes that. But as you can see, it is just absolutely cracked. And yeah, I am very much looking forward to doing this come patch 0.3.1 with all the new mapping and bossing changes coming. I will be spamming this launch day. Oh, that was crazy. Did not expect that to happen. Oh yeah. I guess I have a multiple projectiles aura right now because Plasma Blast did some goo. I'm doing a Headhunter. This shit's hilarious. Look how many projectiles are coming out. Yeah, so Headhunter. It is worth getting once you have the currency for it.